Așa, dragilor, un interviu la fel de emoționant ca cel pe care l-am avut cu domnul dr. Clayton, pentru că în dreapta mea se află președintele și fondatorul companiei Zinzino. Este persoana care a făcut posibilă venirea dr. Clayton în România. Este persoana care, pot să spun că a pus în aplicare visul meu de a-l avea aici pentru români, pentru medici, pentru publicul larg, pentru oamenii care au nevoie și așteaptă foarte multe răspunsuri atunci când vine vorba despre sănătate. Și nu spun degeaba asta, pentru că Orjan este persoana care, bineînțeles, că are un trecut și în acel trecut există și un caz medical. Nu poți să te arunci în a salva oameni sau a produce suplimente decât dacă undeva în spate există și un caz medical, o istorie proprie. So, welcome in Romania for the first time, Orjan, Saele.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for bringing Dr. Clayton in Romania and bringing these important supplements in Romania, because I have all of them at my house. I have done this one. Me and my son, we've already used for 4 months. This one, I take this every day. I take this after my training because I have a lot of adrenaline in me. And this is something very, very important, but I will let Orjan to speak about them. So, my first question is, can you tell to my friends what's your history, medical history, because in our past it's something that starts our motivation.
Yeah, I think that most breakthroughs, most innovations comes from a person facing a problem. And then when they face a problem, they don't want to accept the status quo. So you start researching and you start searching, and then eventually you find something, you make your breakthrough and solve the problem. So for me, I started very young as an entrepreneur. Been involved in several different businesses. Passion for health and nutrition throughout my life. Omega-3s is really invented in Norway. My wife's grandfather, he got the King's Medal of Honor to discovering the omega-3 fatty acid of EPA and DHA. So I've been taking omega-3s my whole life, and things were going well. Life was good. Was running a very fast-growing coffee business, doing over 60-70% annually growth every year, so very, very good. And then one day, and I wasn't living unhealthy at this point. I was running 3 times a week. I was also having a 90-minute run during the week, so 3 times 5K plus a 90 minutes run, and was exercising and feeling good. And one day, I get some stomach problems. And I walk for a little bit, try to run again, stomach pain comes back. And then over the next few weeks, I would try to run, stomach pains would come. And then eventually, when 2, 3, 4 weeks have gone by and you feel the stomach pain while you're sleeping, you go to the doctor.
Yes.
And when a man is 35 and comes to the doctor, they want to have everything checked at once. And that was me, and the doctor was very reluctant, but through negotiating a little bit, I got to take all the blood samples. And then you go home and you wait. And then about a week and a half later, I got all the results back, and I was as healthy as I could be.
How
Only one problem.
Okay.
I had stomach problems.
Of course.
Pain in my stomach. That didn't go away, but all of the blood tests showed that I was healthy. So then you go to the doctor again, you do all the tests one more time, you do some more tests, and they all came back. And every time I was healthy, and I was recommended to take anti-inflammatory tablets or drugs. And those took away the pain. And then when I stopped with the anti-inflammatories, then the pain came back with some friends. So it became worse and worse and worse. And I did this off and on for several months. And then at one point I said, okay, I won't find an answer at the doctor's office. So I started going to alternative therapists. I started doing all of the things. Then I ate all kinds of nutritional supplements. I'm probably spending 300 euros a month on nutritional supplements because I wanted to be well. I spent over 20,000 euros on buying self-help equipment for home. if it's invented, I've got it at home. That's how I work. So, and then after about 1.5 years into it, I realized that I would live like this for the rest of my life unless I did something radical. So I changed my diet completely. First you cut gluten. There's probably many that have cut gluten already.
Yes.
Then you cut soy. That's not as common. Then lactose. Then you cut out all of the spices from your food. You cut all the sugars.
So we know how to do this, to cut,
Yeah.
but we don't know how to introduce them.
No, I know. So I was down to eating fish,
Okay.
nothing with it, just boiled in water, and then meat, preferably long cooked, then vegetables, only boiled, and potato.
Potato.
And with that, I had a little bit of reduction of my pain.
But this was not the solution to solve your problems.
No, absolutely not. So for 4 months I lived like that, and then I met Ola Eide, the original inventor of the product and the test. I didn't meet Paul yet, I met him later. And he suggested to me that it might be an imbalance between my omega-6s and my omega-3s. And I thought in many ways that should be impossible because I was eating so much fish. I was taking 3 omega-3 supplements every day, spending 80 euros every month on omega-3s. And I said, okay, so how do I know? And he said, well, that's the unique thing about our company. We've invented a test. So with a little prick in your finger, a couple of drops of blood sent into the lab. The lab is third party, GMP standard, controlled by the government of Norway. And you get your result back. And you can find out if you're getting the right nutrients.
Without your name.
Without my name, it's totally.
It's just the code.
Yeah, just the code. Which was incredible to me, and I liked that piece of technology and thought that that's very interesting. So I got my finger prick, sent in the test result, and it showed that I had values that was 300% higher than the recommended value for the omega-6, omega-3 balance.
You had 10 and
10.4 to 1 was my first test.
15. Sport, good food, good thoughts, still chronic inflammation.
Yeah, and that's the problem that we're facing today. And I mean, many scientists can explain it better than me. I like to make it simple. What we eat is what we get. And through thousands of years of history, we were eating food that had a good balance. But then all of a sudden we started as man, so mankind started modern farming, and we were feeding the food ourselves. So they weren't catching it wild in the nature anymore. And as a Norwegian, we're the biggest fish farmers in the world, so even the fish we feed. So we decide everything that is in our food, and if the feed that we give doesn't have the proper nutrients, then we won't have them. And that's why in the last 100 years, there's been a change from the balance between omega-6 and omega-3 being 1 to 1, to today, average in Europe, 15 to 1. If you go to the United States, it's 25 to 1. We've done several thousand tests in India by now. And in India, it's 37 to 1.
37.
So Europe is the best place. And we have all the problems that we have. So, just to finish my story, 4 months, taking this oil every day, very exciting, packed with EPA, packed with DHA, the 2 most known omega-3s. But it also have omegas like DPA, not so known, not in very many products. Then it has omega-7, which is good for skin and good for fat
This
metabolism.
omega-7 that
Yeah.
you put here,
Is in
it's that one that makes the difference between this oil with omega-3 and polyphenols and other products.
Yeah, so the omega-7, and then it's the olive oil, 16 different kinds of polyphenols. For those that are technical, 720 ppm. And then it's filled with squalene as well, good for your skin again. So I was taking this every day for 4 months, and then I tested again, and my balance improved 500%. So going from 10.4 to 1 to 1.7 to 1, but that wasn't the most important. The most important was that I woke up in the morning with a smile. I had no pain. I was exercising 4 or 5 times a week again, and I got my life back because I got my health back.
Food.
I wanted to eat. And I'm a foodie. So when I come to the restaurant, I like to mix up everything. And if they have something in the kitchen that they don't dare to serve anybody else, bring it to me. I love food. And I could eat all food except from one combination. And that's when I went to the sushi bar. If I combine soya sauce with chili sauce and wasabi, I got a little bit of pain. Took another 8 months, and then I can eat that, so I pretty much have that weekly.
This is
And
a very
it's
good news.
7 years later.
This is very good news because we have a lot of people with a lot of gastrointestinal problems. So this may help you. This and this one. Really?
Yeah, the symbiotic we formulated later on, so that wasn't what made me well. I was well when we got that product. But I just want to say one more thing on this
Please.
subject. And that is that this technology with the test is really unique because there is tens of millions of people around the world, actually hundreds of millions of people around the world, that want good health. They buy nutritional supplements. And they want that because they want to be energized, they want to be healthy, they want to feel good, they want to stay young. But before you test, you have no idea if you get the right nutrients or not. So here I was spending 30 years of my life taking omega-3s, spending 25, or no, not 25 then, about 17, 18 years of my life working with health food supplements, being very curious about it. And I was out of balance. I didn't get the right nutrients. So only a test can tell you if you're getting what you need or not. And that's the incredible thing. So what I took on as a mission was to bring this product out into the world so that everyone would get tested and then they could get the results that they desired.
Let's go to Xenobiotic.
Yeah.
Because I love Xenobiotic. It feels very much my son.
Yes, yes. And we saw that with stomach issues, with just taking the oil, 50-60% were getting good results. So Paul and I had a discussion about what more can we do. And you know, throughout human history, we've made discoveries after discovery. So first we didn't know very much about our body, and then eventually, because we thought it was only organs. Then later on we discovered that there were cells that created every organ in our body. And then later on we discovered that there was mitochondria inside of the cells, and that we had hundreds of trillions of cells in our body. And then in the last 20 years we've discovered something more. We've discovered that bacteria is not bad, they're good.
Actually, they are very good.
Yeah, and then one of the last books I read on this subject about 3 years ago had the title 10% Human. So only 10% of you is you.
Actually, the rest of me it's bacteria.
Yeah, it's bacteria. And 70% of those bacteria lives in our gut region. So if we live on a bad diet, those bacteria that are breaking down things multiply and grow. And you know, bacteria duplicate fast. You've got one, and everyone has been having an infection at one point in their life, and they heard about the dangerous bacteria. And if you have one in hour one, then 4 hours later you've got 3 of them, and then they duplicate, and then this goes really quickly. So literally in 4 or 5 days, they can be in the billions of bacteria. And if we eat sugars, if we eat trans fat, if we eat unhealthy food, the wrong bacteria duplicate and multiply. So, and I don't think that we can ever live a life where we never have any good food, because I'm a foodie. Some people manage to. Now I want to try everything. So I'm not opposed to anything. I'm positive. I want to enjoy life. But at the same time, and I do have some sugar restriction to keep the waistline, because I'm not 20 years old anymore.
31 actually.
No, I'm not. I tried to say that for many years, but it doesn't work anymore. So the thing is that we got to have the right food for the good bacteria. So these are 4 kinds of fibers that are time released, and throughout our full colon or whole gut, they're released to ferment at a certain time to become food for bacteria, so that we multiply the good bacteria. So literally within 4 days, we make a new gram-positive environment filled with good, positive bacteria. And then another 30 to 40% get intestinal health. And there is always, when we work nutrition, not everyone has their problems because of a nutritional deficiency. So we don't help everyone, but everyone that has it because of nutritional deficiencies, we can help.
What can you say about
The most
this
advanced.
one?
Yeah,
Yes,
it's-
extend. I love it.
Yeah, it's the most advanced immune supplement that you can get. 47 different ingredients. Starts with a top deck of all the vitamins and minerals, and all of the also trace vitamins and trace minerals. So there is a lot of things in it that is not even on the label, because you can't label everything, because it has to be above a certain dosage before you can label it. And then it has all the micronutrients and all the phytonutrients, the color agents from the plants, which would be the carotenoids. Then it's packed with polyphenols, water-soluble ones, and more of the fat-soluble ones that you also find in the oil. Then we take them from the trees, we take them from curcumin, we take them from olive, but we also take them from the ocean, so from the seaweed. And then we have packed in other things to strengthen your energy, metabolism, metal group donors, and we've also got some cyanogens in it that comes from broccoli extract, so that we activate every part of your immune system, and that's why we say it's a multi-immune supplement. And try it out, and
I am.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Every month.
and it's so fascinating, because I was also, and this was done for my stomach problem, I always used to get the flu or the cold whenever it was wrong. And it's a very logical reason for that, because my job includes traveling several times a week, so I'm in an airplane. The guy who was sitting next to me when I flew down here, he was studying to be a pilot.
Oh.
And it was kind of funny, because he felt that I didn't belong in 26F. I bought a cheap plane ticket to get down here. And he looked at me, and several times looked at me, and then eventually I talked to him, and he said, "You don't look like you belong here. You look like you belong in front there, because I can see that you have money." And I was laughing at him, and I said, "Well, I have money because I don't spend money." And he liked it. He was studying to be a pilot. Then he asked, "So how often do you travel?" And I said, "Well, on average, I probably have 9 flights a week."
9?
But yeah, because to get from one city to another in Europe is usually 2 flights, and then to get back home, it's 2 more flights, and then you do 2 flights a week or 2 cities a week. That's 8 flights, and I was just going through the last month of flying around. So people cough, and it goes into aircon, then I fall asleep, that dries up your mouth, and that's when you're the most vulnerable. Then when I got off the airplane, then I speak, I teach, I meet people, and we're a hugging culture in Zinzino. So I give everyone a hug, I shake their hand, and you can't go to the bathroom and clean your hands between every time you shake somebody's hand. So if you then touch your face, or you touch your eyes, or something like that, if there is a virus there, you're going to catch it. And I used to catch it all the time. And now I literally, yes, I still get the cold once in a while, still get the flu once in a while.
But it's normal.
But it's literally 1/4 as often as it used to be. It's a reduction of about 400%, and that's of course the oil, the synbiotic. But the multi-immune is activating even my immune system in my mouth and my eyes, called the enzymatic, and in my skin, which is brilliant. Dr. Paul made that. I'm very grateful.
Eu știu. E foarte bun. So, what about Viva? Because when I first met you, I had Viva at home, but you said I was after a long flight, two flights actually, from Bucharest to Prague, and after Prague to Oslo. So I was like this because I didn't sleep. So I said, "Did you took Viva?" And I said, "No, why? You should take Viva now." Why?
Well,
What is Viva?
Well, Viva is a very interesting compound coming from saffron. And saffron, already 1,000 years ago, you can find in literature that they would give saffron to people if they were moody. They would give them saffron if they were depressed, or if they were very tired and fatigued. And then they would give it also in the cup of tea to fall asleep more easily. So throughout history it's been used, and this is a very unique supplement because it's specially farmed in Spain to make sure that we get the best quality and that we don't have any E. coli in the saffron production, so we don't have to use as much radiation as other saffron products. So we can use a very low dosage and get a high effect. It works basically in a very, very tiny little center in your brain. So when you eat it, nothing happens, and then about 15 minutes later it reaches your brain, and then it starts working. Yeah, and what that brain, it controls a couple of hormones, serotonin, dopamine, and then also it controls the melatonin if you close your eyes or if it's dark. And what it does is that it doesn't increase production, but it inhabits some of the cells to eat it, so you have a higher amount of free serotonin, dopamine, and melatonin, which will then be the actives that actually makes it easy to go to sleep, makes it easy to be happy, take away the knot in the stomach if you are stressed. So that's what it does. So why I recommended you was that you were on the plane, and I don't know if anybody have tried to sleep on a plane when they're really tired, and you're sitting there, and your head is like, and you have no support, and you can't fall asleep.
Yes.
Take 2 Vivas. You'll be asleep within 15 minutes, and you'll have a very beautiful rest, and you wake up without any drowsiness. And if you wake up in the morning and you're not feeling good, well, then it's amazing as well. It'll put a smile on your mouth in about 15 minutes.
So it's perfect. Take Viva. Thank you very much, Orjan, Saele. Say hello to Hilde,
Thank
your
you.
beautiful wife.
Thank
Say
you.
hello to your both children,
I will.
Gabriel and Sarah.
They're
You can-
beautiful.
Yes, I already met Sarah, but not Gabriel till now. Vreau să-i mulțumesc și limba română pentru faptul că a venit în România, pentru faptul că a făcut posibilă prezența doctorului Clayton aici, pe această scenă. În jumătate de oră deja sala o să se umple de foarte mulți medici. Mulțumesc foarte mult! Thank you very much!
Thank you, Anna.
Să vă meargă bine tuturor!